welcome everybody to what is actually the last, well, yes, virtually the last session of the conference. We have a short quiz after the end of this workshop. I'd like to introduce Hezi Brosh, who's joining us actually. I believe, Hezi, you're actually in the United States at the moment.
Yes, yeah. I am in the United States.
So Hezi is the Arabic program coordinator at the United States Naval Academy, specializing in second language acquisition, focusing on the teaching and learning of Arabic as a foreign language. And he has expertise in sociolinguistics, curriculum planning, and design and development of teaching materials, and is the author of numerous conference papers, articles, and textbooks. With that introduction, Hezi, I'll pass over to you and I'll monitor in the chat. And if maybe you could start off just by letting us know how you want to run the session.
Yes, all right. All right, so you all see me, right? And I will go to my share screen and I will share this. All right. So I will be talking to you in this workshop about three things. The main thing is I will show you a technique how to teach the Arabic letters in an easy way. We'll talk about it later, but before that, I will kind of briefly touch the challenges that students and teachers are facing in teaching the Arabic alphabet and the sound system, the writing system. And then I will show you also brief, short findings from my research about this topic, and then I will show you the way I suggest to teach the alphabet. Okay, so if I can just give you a short framework. So in order to achieve all the big things that this conference spoke about, learning Arabic, we need a strong writing system. Students must have strong knowledge of how to write the letters and how to execute and identify the sounds. So basically, I'm talking about two things: orthographic knowledge and phonological awareness. Orthographic knowledge is the understanding of how spoken language is represented in print. And phonological awareness is the establishment of a precise relationship between letters known as graphemes and sounds known as phonemes. And the whole system is known as alphabetic principle, and the ability to manipulate the graphemes and the phonemes in order to read words. So this first encounter with the language is really essential, very important. It impacts the student's success in learning and using the language, and also influences the motivation of the students to learn the language beyond initial requirements. So let's review some challenges. First of all, the direction of writing. Students are used for many years to write from left to right, and suddenly we have to change this direction for them. For example, writing the date from right to left and starting with day and then month and then year, but inside the date, the numbers are written from left to right. So they have to establish basically new eye and hand movements. When they open the book from the right side, for them it's the wrong side. Everything looks backwards. So here what one of the students said: I am so conditioned to read English that my mind and my eyes automatically read from left to right. When I first got my Arabic book, it took me a little while to get used to it because everything was backwards to me. And even once I learned that Arabic is written from right to left, I still had to become accustomed to it. Other challenges are the letters' shapes, allographs. And we have shapes not only in script, but also in print, because we read print and we write script. Teachers usually don't feel the pain that the students feel when learning the Arabic writing system, but it's really painful. So there are similar shapes, many letters with similar shapes, and only in the 7th century the diacritical dots were added to differentiate between these shapes and how to connect these shapes. And there are different levels of connectivity, like full connectivity, partial connectivity, and no connectivity whatsoever, like the verb zara. Letters are alone. Yadhabu, there is partial connectivity, and kataba, full connectivity. Okay, so let's go to the sounds. Well, in English, we have sounds. The English repertoire does not include the emphatic sounds in Arabic like sod, dod, ta, and va. Things like how to pronounce this word compared to this word like salt. When I say salt, can you tell me which word I said, this one or this one? Somebody can tell me. This one or this one?
I'm going to take a guess at the first one.
You guess the first one. Okay. Well, salt, basically, both sound exactly the same. Salt and salt. The ta in this word are influenced by the emphatic sound of the sa and sound like ta. And the sin here in this word sounds like sod, and because it's influenced by the ta. Only the context will tell us the meaning of this salt. Also, the ayn and the ghayn and the ra are problematic for them to pronounce from the throat. And the ra usually combined with the ghayn in many words. Gharb, al-Maghrib, gharghara. I like to say gharghara for them. It's you hear a very funny sounds coming from their throats. The letter qaf and kaf, to differentiate between these two words, qalbi and kalbi, it's not easy for them. They confuse the ha with the ha, dhal with dha, tha with sheen. So there are a lot of things for them to learn. And like teachers sometimes think, oh, it's 1, 2, 3. The short vowels. We have short vowels that are outside the word. They are used that the vowels are included within the word. And there is the double short vowels, the tanween. And when you teach from a text without vowels, like deep orthography, then the reader should supply all the vowels. And we have in addition, additional marks like shadda and sukoon and madda and dagger alif and wasla and hamza. All these things is creating challenges for the students. For example, lengthening letters. Here you have to lengthen, but you don't see the lengthening letters. ذَلِكَ, هَذَا. Here you see the lengthening letter, but you don't have to lengthen. Iran, because if there are two lengthening letters in the middle of a word, we lengthen only the second one. So we say Iran, dinar. I don't say dinar. And here, for example, the same lengthening letters where when they are at the end of a word, they are not lengthened. I say ana, abu, abi. And sometimes I have two silent letters at the end. So the students will think that waw is not a silent letter. But here in the word kataba, the alif is lengthened because it's alif of the dual. So, and sometimes those lengthening letters can serve as consonants, alif, waw, and ya. So they have to figure out when they read words like this and this, how to read it, abid, ulad, or abyad, or aulad. So these are challenges. Other things that we have, alif, hamza, how to write the hamza, why the hamza is written on different chairs, why it's written on its own. They want to know. These are university students. Alif wasla, alif maqsura, alif mamduda, ta marbuta, all these things, the pronunciation of the lam, sometimes it's emphatic, wallahi, and bismillah, in the other cases, they are, it sounds the same. And they don't have the sound of lam. The lam, the L in English is Allah. It's not la, like in Arabic. Okay. And then on the top of all that, sometimes textbooks do not provide vowels. And one of the teachers said, the elimination of vowels during the first, second, and even third year of study does not serve students well. Another teacher said, how can a beginning or intermediate student correctly read or spell words without vowels that look identical orthographically, like homographic words, but carry different pronunciations and meanings? For example, fataha, futiha, fath, they look exactly the same. So I asked, my research question was, what are the instructors' and students' perspectives regarding challenges facing students when learning the Arabic writing system? That's my question. And I included in this research 33 Arabic instructors, high schools, colleges, universities. 88% are native speakers, were native speakers, 79% females. Oh, wow, females. That's wrong. Okay, females, right? And 64% have experience of 7 years or more. 44 second and third year college level students studying Arabic as a foreign language. Okay. So I collected the data through questionnaire. I asked for background data, number of hours they use to teach the letters. That's a very important question. And if they detect learning challenges related to the writing system among their students. And I also conducted interviews with both teachers and students. So what I found, basically, I just want to go to the finding, and I will give you some quotes. So the main idea, Arabic writing system is a technical phase, and it's prerequisite for teaching Arabic. And listen, I got things like this. It should be short, fast, and out of the way so that the real teaching of the language can begin. So teachers usually think that this is something we should get rid of fast. Many instructors, in fact, teach the Arabic alphabet within 10 to 20 hours. 10 to 20 hours meaning 2 weeks or less. 2 weeks or less, students should know the Arabic alphabet. And look, 48% of the teachers teach Arabic between 10 and 20 hours, the whole Arabic writing system. And if, like, I add another 24 of them, some of them will use 30 hours, not all of them, between 21 to 30. So like the majority of teachers are teaching the Arabic writing system relatively fast. And why is that? Why is that? Why do teachers have these perceptions that it should be technical and prerequisite? So I found that the teachers are under pressure. I have goals set for me to accomplish, whether it is the syllabus or the needs of the department or the program coordinator. Not accomplishing these goals means failure on my part. Another way of looking at it is that learning the alphabet is easy. The students already learned some alphabet in their lives, the English alphabet, so another alphabet might be easy. Students can learn the letters on their own from the textbook. It is easy and it's their responsibility. I agree that learning is the responsibility of students because teachers cannot do it for them, like they cannot eat for them or think for them or sleep for them. They have to do it. And if they don't do it, it won't be done. That's true, but teachers should be aware of the challenges and the problems they face while learning it. So another teacher said, learning the alphabet is less challenging compared to other topics that I have to tackle. Therefore, I leave the less challenging topic for students to handle, and I take on the more demanding ones. All right. So, whatever the reason for teaching the writing system fast, teachers admit that students who have gaps in their command of the sound system or the letters struggle quite a bit in higher levels, like when they are third year or fourth year. They are slower to read and write. They also suffer when it comes to speaking and listening because they are not able to differentiate between sounds and produce them correctly. Another teacher said, a good number of students have difficulties with letter recognition, and I'm talking about advanced students, connecting the letters and differentiating between short and long vowels. So students carry with them a bag through their years of learning Arabic, and they are influenced negatively by that. Okay. Now a student stated, there was not enough time spent on mastering the alphabet. It is quickly taught, but proper writing and pronunciation were not emphasized. Another student said, second year, I don't feel comfortable with reading a paragraph in Arabic in class because I know that I will butcher it. I don't know how to properly pronounce the sounds that do not exist in English and how to connect sounds and pronounce words. So I think that this saying in Arabic is really to the point. Al-ma'rifa ghayr kafiya yulzimuha tatbiq. So it's not enough for a student to understand the grammatical rule or to say, I know it, but they need also to apply it and a lot of practice. So if you look at textbooks, you can see that some textbooks using a separate textbook for letters. It's not included in the big textbook. There is one textbook for the letters, and then when you are done with the letters, you start the Arabic language. So it's basically supports the notion among teachers that this is a technical phase. Let's get rid of it and start with teaching the language. Other books, they just teach the letters in the first chapter in a fast way, giving a list of letters, tables, how they sound in English, and we are done with it, then we start teaching the language. Same idea like this, but it is with the same textbook. So again, the notion is it's a phase that needs to be done with quickly. So as you all know, in Arabic, there are 28 letters. Each letter has 4 shapes. If a student does the math, he has to learn 224 shapes in both print and script. Too many shapes to learn. Yeah. So I want to show you like how we see the letters in the book. Like in the books that I looked, each letter has 4 forms. We have alif, another alif, this alif, this alif, this ba, this ba, and this ba, and this ba, sad, ta. All the letters appear in a table with 4 forms. Just for you to understand the difference between print and script. The print is written, the letters are written on a horizontal baseline. They are all on the same line, horizontal. Look at the script. The baseline is not horizontal, but it's rather diagonal, and there are like 3 stories in this word. That's 1 level, 2nd level, 3rd level. And it's written like this. That's the baseline. So more examples. Look at this. Katib compared to katib. Yabhathu compared to this yabhathu. Shams compared to this shams. So there are differences between the script and the print, and students read the print and write the scripts. Sometimes I have also to read the script. Okay. So before I show you my way of teaching the letters, I want to tell you my beliefs. So I think that if you develop a strong writing system among the students, the rest of their learning will be easier and more attractive for them. And they will be able to speak and listen and deliver messages more clearly and precisely. And also, I believe that the alphabet is part of the language. It's not a separate part. It's integral part of the language. And it should be taught as part of the language. One of my principles is that students can listen and say words, phrases, sentences that they cannot yet read and write. They can hear those words and they can say them, even though they cannot write them yet or read them. So they can say, Kaifa haluka. I will not wait until I will teach them the ha and the kaf and the lam for them to say Kaifa haluka or Sabah al khair. They can say Sabah al khair. I will not wait until they can read it. So that's another principle. And another principle that I want to show you is that as a teacher, I am always trying to give them more for their precious time they give me. Like if I have 15 students sitting in front of me, I get 15 hours from their young age, the best time of their life. They give it to me. And then I need to give them as much as I can for this precious time. So I know that Arabic usually is written on blank pages, but at the beginning phases, I thought I will use a staff with 6 lines to teach them how to write the letters correctly, where to begin, how to proceed, and where to end. So that's why I use those 4 auxiliary lines between line number 1 and line number 6. This is a double staff because there are letters that shift downwards, like Ain, Ghain, Jim, Qaf, Nun. So I use a double staff. This will disappear in, let's say, in 3rd year, 2nd year, 3rd year. Yes, 2nd year, I don't need the staff anymore once they learned how to connect the letter, and also letter has proportions, which is very important. And unfortunately, books do not speak about the proportions between letters. So I will give you an example. In McDonald's, every time you buy something there, do you want small, medium, and large? And we have letters small, medium, and large, and we have large letter going down. So we have 3 sizes. Ba is 1 subline, and it's from line 5 to line 6. Dal is 2 sublines, from line 4, diagonal, curve, short stroke on line 6. Alif is 4 sublines, from line 2, perpendicular to line 6. And the meme is the same thing, but shifts downward. So the proportion is really very important. One more thing that teachers really do not tell the students about the writing system is that when you write a letter, you go to the point where the next letter starts. Let's say after the ba, I want to write dal. So I have to go to line 4, to this point where the dal starts. Yes, there is a line here. I'm going up to line 4. From here, I will write the dal as I learn to write it. And if I have the ba here, and I need to write the alif, yes, I go up to the point where alif starts, and by doing this, I already written the alif. So I break the continuum. So in Arabic, as you know, we have 6 rest areas, 6 letters that when we write them, we break the continuum. Do you pay attention about how I say it? How you say things is 50% of teaching, how you say it. Because if I say it does not connect it from the left, but connect from the right, connect from the left, I saw my right, for the students it's left, it can create a mess. But if you say, when you write it, you break the continuum of writing, is clearer. So the way you present things is so important and make a difference. So I just want to show you, for example, I don't believe that I need for each letter 4 forms. These are letters that have only one shape, one form. Why present dal with 4 forms? Why dal with 4 forms? Why pa with 4 forms? So by doing this, I save 48 shapes for the students to remember, print and script. 1 form, 1 form. Okay, let's go. These letters has only 2 forms, 2 forms, not 4, only 2. I will show you. I will show you. Okay. Okay, that's the ba. Look how the ba is written. The ba has two shapes. This is one, and that's the ending shape. No more, no more. And that's how I write it. Five, I start in 5 and put the dot underneath the stroke. That's the ending. Put the dot underneath the ba. That's all. Ba, 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 3 bas.
Ba.
So I just want to elaborate. The middle ba, I don't have to teach it because I'm writing cursive. It's automatically created. And I will never write middle ba alone. So why bother the students with additional things to remember? Okay.
Ba.
So now, a word with ba.
Ab. Bab.
So I write the ba from this point. I go up where Aleph starts, and while I'm going up, it's written. I break the continuum and write the ending ba from line 5, and that's it. So that's the ba, and the same is with the rest of the letters. With all these letters. If you want me to show you how to write any letter, please let me know. So in this way, the students have to remember less things, because if there are a lot of things on their memory, they might be afraid and insecure because they might forget. I want to show you something else about this idea of memory. Okay, the ra. I want to show you how to write the ra. Ra. Ra, one shape. That's it. One shape. And that's how you write it. It's a medium letter, so it starts on line 6 and end on line 8. Ra. That's it. And that's the ra and the ba.
Rab. Barid.
Okay. So barid. Okay. Okay.
Ra. Rab.
Okay. So
Barid.
pay attention to the barid. That's the ba from line 5 to line 6. Then ra starts on line 6 and going down. If you ignore the lines, this is the correct connection between ba and ra. If you write it on a blank page, that's the connection that you should do when you write ba and ra. In some books, I saw that the ra starts on line 5 and goes down to shift down line 6. Once you teach the ra starting here, then you create a problem for the students. If there is ba before the ra, he should remember to elevate the ba, so you will get this connection. But as a teacher, I put the ra where I want to put it, so the students will not have to think if there is ba before the ra, I need to elevate the ba because the ra starts above line 6. You see what I'm saying? Now, what if there is other letters before the ba? What to do with them? I have to elevate them as well. But when I start writing them, I don't know that there is ra coming. So it creates a problem. In this way, when I put the letters in a way that the connections are easier, I achieve my goal. All right.
Dr. Brosh, if I may just interrupt 1 minute. We've got about 15 minutes left just to leave some time for questions, just to let you know.
All right, 15 minutes left. All right. So, so we will do it. 15 minutes, that's a good time. Thank you for letting me know, because sometimes you don't feel it. These letters have 3 shapes only. 3, not 4, 3. And these letters have 4 forms. Now, again, here are some examples. That's the ba, line 5. The dot is underneath the stroke because the stroke is the letter and this is the connector. And that's the ending ba. That's all I have to teach. And when I write it, I will do it like this. And the second ba should, I retract the line to the middle and curve to line 6. I need to see the space here. I need to see the space, and students get it easily. So they don't go down to line 6, but in the middle they curve and then the alif. So you see the spaces here, the space and this space, and it's the same height. It's 1 subline, the ba, the ya, the ta, and it's clear. The dal here, 2 sublines, and you see the proportions. It's different. Sometimes they write the ba bigger than the dal, so it's not correct. So that's the dal and that's the ba. And also the vowels and the shadda comes second floor, while diacritical dots first floor. So there are distance between the vowels and the diacritical dots. Regarding the ya and the dal, that's the ya. I need to go to line 4 to write the dal. I retract the line. When I reach line 5, I curve to line 6. So I get this space again. I get this space again. So when I say go to line 4, then retract the line, and on line 5 you curve, it's clearer than I just write on a blank page without lines, without nothing. And this is 1 subline, and this is 2 sublines. And this is lam alif, start from line 2, a curve, and then you add an alif starting line 3, perpendicular to the curve. And I can show you other things, that the ha and that the ha in the middle, and then the ra, you see the ha is here, then I write the ra, it starts from line 6, no problems. Imagine if the ra starts here, or line 5 or something like that, we will get a problem writing. Okay. I just want to stop here and allow people to ask me questions. I think this is important, but I will come in a second.
Can I just ask one question that was asked also yesterday, Dr. Brosh? The software, if you like, that you've been demonstrating, could you just explain if it's possible to access a link to that at all, if anyone wants to have a look at it? I know you mentioned yesterday, for example, it's for Hebrew learners of Arabic rather than English, but sorry.
Mark, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry, it's me. Sorry, Dr. Brosh, you probably didn't hear my question. Could you explain if it's possible for colleagues on the call to access the software, if you like, that you've been demonstrating? Dr. Brosh?
I think he said he's going to come back in 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for him, in case he can or can't hear us, my understanding from yesterday is that it's a book. I think he described it as a book. Here we go. Sorry, Dr. Brosh.
Yes.
One question that came up yesterday as well is the software package, if you like, that you've been demonstrating. I know you explained yesterday it was something you've prepared for Hebrew speakers. Is it possible for colleagues to get a link to have a look at it at all?
Well, I myself asked for permission to get into this link. This was produced in Israel, and it's my handwriting, but they did it with the software. I don't know what software they used. And they gave me permission to use the link to show you. But you can subscribe to it. It's really simple. The book is digital. It's in Hebrew. However, there is another book which is called Salamat that I wrote for English speakers. And I'm teaching the letters with in the same way, like same program. It's called Salamat. It's in Amazon. It's very cheap. It's less than $20, and no colors. And most of the book is recorded. But I'm talking about the letters. You can look at it and use the parts that you want to use for the classroom, in your classrooms, so you can benefit the students from additional perspective. So I can give you the link of the publisher, and you can just go there and find out how much it costs to link. And it's a nice. So first of all, I want to give you my email address. So one more thing. So in the book Salamat and in the other book in Israel, I'm practicing there by giving them something like this. So the print is above this stuff. They see the print. They have to read it. And the script is inside. Look the difference of the print and the script. It's a huge difference. And in this way, they imitate the script and can also identify the differences between script and print. So look at this handwriting of students that learns not according to my technique. That's how they write. Now look at these students, my students. That's how they write. You see proportions between letters. Look at this Jamia, beautifully written. Fi Columbia Tadrusu. Look, Al-Arabiya, beautiful. Another example.
Sorry, Hezi, we can't see your screen at the moment. If you're
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm so sorry. You are right. Yes, sorry. All right. Yes. So, all right. So this is the, wait a second. This is a text written by students that studied not according to my technique. That's how they write. Look, they imitate the print. That's the ha. Look at Muhammad. Horizontal writing. The meme is up, not down. Look, that's another Muhammad. Jamila, look what happened here. The ha, just imitating the print. They have no idea of what script is. Look at Mushkila, exactly the print. Exactly the print. All right? Maha, you see Maha. Okay, so now you know the book. Okay. All right, so look at this handwriting. And look, another handwriting of another student. The kaf, by the way, is straight. It's only bend, half circle, when it comes before kaf, lam, or alif. Katib or kalb, I bend it. But other than that, it's straight. And I think that many teachers told me when I showed them this, that they have learned a lot from it and improved their handwriting. So if you think that this can benefit you, this way of teaching Arabic is in this book, Salamat, Teaching the Writing System, Salamat. It's in Amazon. It's very cheap book because I didn't want it to be expensive for students. And I can show you how it looks like. Salamat. So let's go to Unit 3.
I shared the link to the publisher on the chat.
Yes, I will. On the chat, I don't have it handy, but maybe if you send me an email, I will give you all the details. And by the way, if you go and look at the book, I can share with you the link of this publisher. And if you tell them that you are an Arabic teacher, they can send you this for free. Mm-hmm. They can send you the book for free. So the publisher is Tuttle Publishing. Tuttle Publishing.
Yeah, I've copied the link to Tuttle Publishing in the chat already, so that's there.
All right, it's Tuttle Publishing, and you just go there and tell them. And if you go to Tuttle Publishing, you have all the recording, all the dialogues in this book and many other things recorded, and it's free access, no charge. You can go, even if you don't buy the book and you want the students to listen to a dialogue, you can go there and take the dialogue and let your students listen. And there are tons of dialogues in this book. And proverbs and many other creative art drills. And the grammatical explanations are really simple and straightforward. So that's, for example, Unit 3 in the book. It starts with the dialogue, and then ترجموا شفهيا هذه دينا وهذا نبيل تكلموا عنهما, speak about them based on the dialogue, what they understand from the dialogue. So small sentences, short sentences, that's culture, masha'Allah, what masha'Allah in the Arab culture means, and many other cultural enrichments in this book. Ustaduddin. So at the first time, I'm start talking about idafa, but in a very nice way. Ustaduddin is not belonging because idafa has two functions. Either the second noun modifies the first, or the second noun belongs to the first. These are the two functions of idafa. And here I speak that a noun can modify another noun, and it's really new for the English students. I say, is it in English that a noun can modify a noun? No, it's only adjective can modify. So I said, okay, what about school bus, cheesecake, university professor, fire truck? And I started giving them examples that a noun can modify another noun. And they were amazed because once they start learning Arabic, their English grammar became better. So these are the words, and the handwriting is inserted inside. It's not the original book, but you get the idea.
Okay. Dr. Brosh, we've got about 5 minutes or so. We've got a couple of questions, if I may.
Yes.
I'll, rather than reading them out, I'll just invite the colleagues to ask them. Salwa, you had a question about handwriting practice.
Yes. Salwa, tfaddali.
Shukran. If I heard you well earlier, you said that some students thought that the alphabet can be learned independently. So do you have any?
Yes.
Do you have any suggestions or exercises or links where the students can learn the alphabet independently?
It's not me saying it, it's the teacher saying it. I don't think we should teach alphabet independently.
Okay.
I think we teach alphabet within the language. So when I am teaching the alif and lam, I will teach the definite article. I don't wait. When I teach the kaf, I will teach baituka, baituki. When I teach the mim, I teach baitukum. Do you see what I mean? I don't wait to finish something in order to teach the grammar. And once I teach baituka, I teach them how to add possessive pronoun to the word. And it's only just by doing baituka, put dhamma on the last letter and attach the possessive with glue, baitu plus ka, you get baituka. They know how to do it for the rest of the pronouns when they get to know the letters. So when they learned kaf mim, they know kum, and they know how to do it. Baitu, kum. So I don't have to teach again. I teach it with one example. So it's part of the language. As I go with the letters, I teach other things because it's boring to keep teaching letter after letter after letter after letter, and then learn it on your own and you have a quiz. Yeah. I don't believe in this approach.
We have a related question from Noha. Noha, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Brosh. It was really interesting.
Shukran.
I'm sorry, I have my screen. Yeah, I always do that. Yes, I teach at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. So I'm the only instructor there. And when I teach the beginners for the first semester, I almost follow similar rules as you do, and especially when you had the reaction about the writing and the difference between the print and script, what students, but sometimes students come from different backgrounds, so they have the idea that we have to follow the print. Now, my problem though in teaching, when do you introduce the root and the wazn to students?
In this book, in this beginning book, the root and the wazn is introduced in Unit 6 because it's so important. And I start with it even before that. Like I'm talking with them about the word. What do you think the foundation of these words? Each word has three foundations, 3 letters that we call it the root, like a tree, the root of the tree. And I start developing it, and then al-wazn and the root, wal-jadr, is introduced in Unit 6.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
yes.
so much.
It's important. It's important.
Yes, it is very important. Yes, I agree. And I agree with you about not spending so much time on just teaching the letter by itself, because it's very important to have it within the context. Like when we speak, we already started. I mean, because I start speaking and writing together. I have the idea that we should introduce the colloquial with when you are writing the, I mean, introducing the standard.
Well, here we have a difference. I don't want to teach the colloquial with the standard. I prefer to teach the standard first, and after like 2 years of standard, I will add the colloquial, not in the class of standard. Right. Well, different philosophy.
Exactly, but I find it easy because the students, when they come, as we an Arab started learning only the colloquial at home before going to school. So that's the idea is, and when I start this conversation, you know, it makes the classroom more active when they introduce themselves to each other and they start, you know, talking to each other, like my name is, ismi, ismak, shu ismak, ismi hek, la, ismi, you know, and shway shway, they start to know, أنا بحكي عربي, أنا منيحة, wow. So that's how it is. And then when they start writing, it's a little bit, you know, tricky, but it takes, I spend more time on the pronunciation and how they have to pronounce each letter and how to write it, etc. I don't know, it just, as you said.
Yeah, but from what I read and I spoke with native speakers, learning Arabic is traumatic experience for Arabs when they get to first grade and start, don't say this, don't do
yes.
that, do that. So
I agree with you absolutely, because the method we learned at our schools was absolutely wrong. I didn't like it. I mean, you hate going to school because of the method of the instructors, and you do not argue your ustad, or you don't give your opinion. That's that's our way in the Arab world. Yes.
All
I mean, in
right.
the old days. I don't know about today. I am not there now, so I don't know.
I'm very
Mark.
sorry to interrupt. We'll need to go back to the main room now to have the wrap up for the conference, and then there's going to be a quiz. I mean, by all means, anyone who wants to carry on speaking with Dr. Brosh, I'm sure you may be willing to hang on for a few more minutes into this room, but I'm afraid that the rest of us will need to go back to the main room if that's where you want to go. The link to the Zoom, I believe it, Asha, it's the same one that we've been in earlier today anyway, but Asha has put the link in the chat.
Yes, that's correct, Mark.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave myself now. If there is anyone who wants to hang on and ask another question to Dr. Brosh, by all means. Otherwise, the end of the conference will be taking place back in the main room.
Okay, my email is brosh@USNA, United States Naval Academy .edu. brosh@USNA.edu. So I will be more than happy to answer any questions concerning the teaching of Arabic, not only the letters, if you have other questions in any topic. So let's be colleagues and exchange knowledge between us.
Thank you, Dr. Brosh. I think I will be in contact in the future. Thank you.
And with that, Dr. Brosh, on behalf of the conference organizers, thank you very much for your workshop, both today and yesterday.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Speak to you all soon.
Thank you.